I think it was already mentioned that we are in the 4th week of Lent. Lent is the season that we have to get ready for something. I wonder if you know what we're getting ready for. I have a box here. It kind of reminds me of the box that I've had the last couple of weeks. So I wonder if this is another parable. I know that parables are like presents that were given to us a long time ago, and this box kind of looks like a present. I also know that parables are precious, like gold is precious, and this box is gold. Parables are also very hard to understand. This box is hard. Sometimes you have to get inside of a parable more than once, like it has a lid on it, and I know that this box has a lid. So let's look inside and see, maybe, if there is something. I have a few things that might help me. What's this? Okay, so this could be a hill. Could run up and down it. But that doesn't really go with the other things that I have in the box. So what if I did this? So this could be a road, maybe, with the beginning and an end, or maybe this is the beginning and this is the end. I know that Jesus traveled on a road to Jerusalem, so maybe this is like a road. And I know that he told a lot of parables on his way to Jerusalem. Still doesn't really go with what I have. Let's imagine this is a field. Once there was someone who said amazing things and did wonderful things that people wanted to follow him. He had people who followed him who wanted to know and understand what he said, but he also had people near him who followed him that wanted to find fault with what he said, wanted to see if he would make a mistake. They wanted to blame him for something. So once when Jesus was talking and having a meal, he told this story. So I'm going to invite you to come a little bit closer so that you can see the pieces that I have. Once there was someone who was a rich man, and he owned a farm, and he had servants who took care of the fields, and he had 2 sons who helped him, and they worked every day and every night to take care of this field and the animals and the farm. And the one son said, "Oh, why do I do this? Why do I work so hard all the time? I wonder what it's like for other people. I wonder what it's like in other places, in other towns and cities. I wonder what it would be like to leave this farm." And he kept working, and then he thought, I know, I'm going to ask my father. And he went to his father, and he said, "Father, please give me my inheritance. I know that normally I don't get my inheritance until you die, but I would like to have it now because I want to go places. I want to see different things." Now, the father could have said no, but he said yes. And he gave his son his inheritance, which was a whole bunch of money. And the son left. And he left with all of the money, and he took with him his clothes and everything that he owned, and he went far away. Oh, and he had so much fun. He had parties and he had people around him, and he kept spending his money and he enjoyed himself. In fact, he kept spending so much money that soon he didn't have as much money anymore. He forgot to save money. He forgot to keep some money safe for another time. Pretty soon, he had no money. And his friends that were around him said, "Come on, let's have a party." And he thought, "Whoa, that's a great idea. Let's have a party. But I don't have any money." Suddenly, he was all alone. The people that he thought were his friends had left because he no longer had any money. So he had no money, he had no friends. He was all alone. But he stayed away from home. And then a famine came. A famine is when there's a drought, when there's no rain, and the crops wouldn't grow, and there was no food. And he grew really, really hungry. He didn't know what to do. Now his father kept looking for him, kept waiting and wondering, when is my son going to come home? Finally, he knew he needed to get a job. And so he got a job. He got a job taking care of pigs. And every day he would take care of these pigs. He would feed them. And do you know what he fed them? He fed them slop, stuff that we wouldn't even want to eat. Oh boy, he was hungry. And he started looking at the pig's food and thinking, I'm so hungry I could even eat pig's food. Wait a minute. Why am I doing this? Why am I here feeding the pigs when the servants at my father's house, they always have something to eat? And they have a safe, warm house, and a place to be. Oh, but how can I go home? How can I go home after so much time has passed? And then the young man thought, I know, I could go home if I ask for forgiveness. I will talk to my father. I will tell him, I'm not even worthy to be your son. And so he started the long journey home. And as the young man got closer to home, his father, who had been watching for him, ran out and was so excited. He was so excited, he said, "Oh, you're here. You're home. I'm so thrilled. Wait a minute, Father, I have something I must say. I must tell you that I have sinned. I have sinned against you, and I have sinned against God. I am not worthy to be your son." But the father was so happy. He was so happy that his son was home. He said to the servants, he said, "Go and get the best food that we have. I want to make sure my son has the best meal, and I want to have a party and a celebration. Make sure he has good sandals on his feet and good clean clothes to wear, and even a ring, even jewels." For the father said, "Oh, rejoice with me, for my son has returned home." Now, I wonder, what did this son feel? The one that stayed at home all the time working hard in the fields. I wonder how he felt. I wonder how the father felt being asked for his inheritance before he had passed away. I wonder how he felt about his son asking him. And I wonder if you have ever asked for forgiveness, given forgiveness, like the Father, or maybe felt like you deserved everything you had. You felt entitled. I wonder if these people have names and what their names would be.